What's going on, everybody? This is Caden with Francis Cattle Company. We're over here at the lease farm today checking on these cows. It's been a while. I mean, I've been over here, but I just haven't made a video because there's not been a whole lot going on with these cows, and I've been pretty busy trying to just keep up with watering the garden and the cantaloupes and watermelon stuff. It's just been so dry. We've been in about a month-long drought, but we actually have had a couple inches of rain, but we'd get them, like we got two Sundays ago, we got about 1.5 inches, and then this Sunday we got about 1 inch or so, and then again last night we didn't get 1 inch, but we probably got, you know, 1/4 inch or something like that, which was good. Definitely needed it, but we could definitely use some more. We're very dry. So we're over here checking these cows, especially this Hereford cow. I came and checked them Thursday, and I noticed she was kind of bagging up, and then she's laying up here today, and she's got a pretty decent little bag on her, but she's back in there behind that Brahman cow or heifer, and I would say she's, I don't know if she's necessarily in labor, but it won't be long. It's hot, and she looks to be just really in pain. If it ain't today, I would say it'd be tomorrow or the next day. But we're gonna keep our eye on her over the next couple days until she has it. I'm hoping it'll be today or tomorrow, and I'm hoping that she won't have any problems and be able to do everything on her own. But we don't know. We won't know until she has it. So definitely on baby watch for this cow. So pretty exciting. At this point, I wouldn't necessarily say I've got to have a heifer calf. Heifer would be nice, but if it's a bull calf, that's fine too. I'm just really wanting a live calf that's healthy and doesn't have any problems, and I don't want her to have any problems. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just a live healthy calf is all we really need. We are trying to buy some cows. I've been talking to a couple people around here, but they're some of the animals I've been looking at, for what they are, they're just not worth what the people's asking for them. You know, like there was a man who had a Jersey Hereford cross 10-month-old heifer, and they want $1,500 for her. I was like, man, that's just too high, because you gotta think, you know, it's gonna be another, I don't know, probably at least 6 to 8 months before she really needs to be bred, and then you gotta wait another 9 months. So you're talking about over a year and a half almost that you're waiting to even get that first calf, and for $1,500, that's just unreal. You know, I was thinking more like $800 or something, which I guess it's just a different time, you know, in these past few years than it has been. But then I've talked to a man about I think she was a shorthorn and Charolais, or like maybe a Black Angus Charolais and a shorthorn cross or something like that, and she's got a Hereford sired baby, and or maybe a Charolais sired baby, I don't know. Either way, she's got a bull calf on her, about a 2.5-month-old calf, and it ain't as bad of a deal. I think bred cows right now at most of my local sale barns are going anywhere from like $2,500 to almost $3,000, and he's asking $2,250, which I'd like to talk him down just, you know, a couple $100 or something, because I got to go up about 1 hour to get her. But I am thinking about getting her just because I'd rather buy cattle that aren't from the sale barn, but I think I'll probably end up having to. But if I could get her bought, and then maybe try to find a few more, maybe about, I really need I need 6 over here and then 1 more for the other farm, the home farm. I'm bringing them 2 Herefords over here eventually, hopefully in the next week or 2. I will be going to the beach for 3 days in a little while, about a week and a half or something like that. So probably won't do too much before then, because I don't want to be gone and having new animals on this property and, you know, be worried about them getting gone or something like that while I'm gone. So we'll probably wait till we get back to do a lot of that stuff. But yeah, we need about 8 more over here, and I've got the 2 I'm gonna bring, so then I just need 6, and then I need 1 more at the house for right now. And just because of price, I mean, if I could find one that wasn't, or find a few that were, you know, cheaper, I could get a better deal on them. I might could get 8 and put 2 at the house, and then the 8 more over here, so that'd get me up to like 19 or so mama cows, which would be fine. But I'm trying to have 18 to 20, so anywhere in that range that I could get going right now would be good for me. I have been talking to a woman about another lease farm, another 30 or 32 acres or something like that. If I do get it, it's going to be later on in like the winter, so at the start of next year, 2025, which is fine. I'm not ready to have it right now, but I am trying to find something just in case, you know. And the main thing, you know, would probably be for weaning calves right now, and then maybe keeping me back some of my crossbred heifers, or just heifers in general, getting another bull over there and starting a new herd, and trying to raise, you know, get my cattle number even higher for the next year and just keep growing that way. So that's kind of my plan as far as the cattle, is to just keep growing a little bit every year. As far as produce farming goes, I should be picking my first cantaloupes this week, later in the week, and maybe watermelons too. Sugar babies, they're kind of a smaller variety. I also have crimson sweets planted, and they're doing good. They're not ready for harvesting yet. They'll be kind of maybe another 3 or 4 weeks probably before I start harvesting them, especially with the amount of rain we've been getting. If we could get rain every week, you know, would be getting a little bit sooner, but just as dry as it's been hard this year. But that's kind of that. Now I've got pumpkins. The pumpkins are doing good. I need to show y'all the pumpkins, and I could show you a couple of the cantaloupes and stuff. I actually had some deer get into them 2 nights ago, and they ended up knocking down, I think, three cantaloupes and ate a whole plant. So not devastating really, but at the same time it is aggravating, because, you know, that would have been, I think if I would have charged $3 a piece on them, that would have been $9 of cantaloupe right there. And that's not a whole lot, but, you know, that would be getting us closer to, you know, making profit. So and that could, you know, that could be our profit. And that's sad to say, we might only made $9 this year, but hey, that might just be what it is. And with the deer eating them down, you know, that's just, it could be a devastating loss. But hopefully it's not. Hopefully we'll have plenty to sell, plenty enough to make some money on them, and get us a plastic mulch layer bought for next season. I've told my wife I'm gonna buy one, and that's all. I'm gonna plant everything in plastic next year. That way I can make sure that I keep the weed pressure down, but also keep it watered, because going through this drought and having to water the way we've been doing, it's just been hard. It's been I mean, it's, you know, definitely not like I wouldn't do it if I don't have to, or if, you know, I'm going to do it. But if I can make it a little bit more efficient next year, I'm going to. And so having irrigation lines put in to where I can water everything, I think that's just the way to go. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. We did get a 2-acre lot, or not lot, but a 2-acre creek bottom that we're going to be doing our cantaloupes on next year. Should have all of that be able to put into cantaloupes. We got about an acre or a half acre, something like that. We're gonna do crimson sweets on. I'm gonna plant 150 blueberry bushes, and I've got another little bottom that's like a quarter acre, maybe half acre bottom that I'm gonna do sugar babies on. And then I've got 3 little fields that probably equates to about a half acre I'm gonna do sweet corn on. And then our main garden spot we did this year, I'm just gonna do multiple rows of, like probably 3 rows of green beans, 3 rows of squash, zucchini, and 3 rows of okra. And I'm gonna do that 3 or 4 times throughout the year. So it's kind of like succession planting. So I'll have, you know, 3 rows come in ready to pick, and then maybe 2 weeks later have another 3 rows, 2 weeks later have another 3 rows. And they'll overlap while I'm picking them, which is fine. I mean, that just means for a while I'm gonna have more to harvest and more to sell. But that's kind of my goal next year, is to have at least 18 mama cows, and then do all that produce to sell. Try to save up or make as much money as we can with that. And then, I mean, of course, it's going to be reinvested into the farm. Buying equipment, I need a bigger truck, so I'll probably buy a 2500 or a 3500 truck. I need a cow trailer, I need a tractor. So things like that over the next few years I'll be doing and buying, and just keep growing the operation. Try to find more land to lease or buy to keep on doing more produce. Of course, if I got another lease pasture for cattle, add another 14 or 15 mama cows. So then every year I just want to keep growing and building up and doing more and more. And you know, eventually I'd like to get to the point where it is a full-time job. I just love it so much. Every bit of agriculture I enjoy. I feel like that's the Lord's calling on my life. So that is something that I want to do and try to do. Of course, right now I'm thankful for the job I have, and it pays the bills. So, you know, as far as that goes, I'm not going to just quit my job because I want to do this. I want to get this going to the point that I can make a living doing it, and you know, eventually maybe even open up my own produce stand and be farming enough that I can do some wholesaling and things like that. But that is my goal. I talk about it a lot, but I did want to give you an update kind of on what my plans are for next year. When we get a little bit closer to that time, I'll kind of go over my plan and maybe even try to make a little series of every week showing you progress on what we're doing, if we're making any money, the money we're spending, stuff like that. Just kind of to show, if it is, one, document it for myself, but 2, just to show that if you can be profitable farming on the scale that I'm doing it, and then our journey just growing. You know, that's my main thing. It's just I want to grow. I want to keep going, keep growing, keep doing more, and you know, see how much I can do by myself until I need to start hiring some help. You know, another thing I was thinking about and talk to my wife about is, right now I'm on a scale that I stay busy doing it, but I can do it by myself or with her helping me a little bit here and there, and so I don't have to pay anybody for help. Eventually, you know, if we're doing 2 acres of cantaloupe and an acre of watermelon and all that stuff, and I probably will need, when it's time to harvest, I'll probably need a few extra hands, maybe 2 or 3 young guys from, you know, the local high school or something, the FFA, that can come in and just help for, you know, pay them, but I don't have to pay them like a full-on wage, but just pay them enough to make them happy and still be making money for ourselves. And then eventually, you know, it might get to the point that I've got to have some full-time help, especially during the seasons of planting and harvesting and everything, because I might get to the point I'm so busy, I've got, you know, I might be planting one day and be fine, but then it may come to the point where I need to be harvesting and have somebody else planting, or I need to be planting while other people are harvesting for me. So, you know, it's just things that I think about, and things that will come with it and come with time. And that's things, I want to do it on a scale that I'm not having to go into a whole lot of debt or anything, you know. I just want to be doing it enough to where I'm able to make money doing it, grow every year off of the profits of the last year, and until I get to the point that, you know, there's enough money to grow and enough money to profit and make money on it. And it may be it takes me 10 years to get to that point. I don't know, you know. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do to get there. And having this lease farm, and maybe that other lease farm's really gonna help. Having a few other little fields close by the house is gonna help. If I can find some land to buy close by the house, that would help. You know, those sort of things is kind of what I need and what I'm trying to get. But yeah, so that's just kind of what I want to show you over here. Probably a little bit later when I get home from everything, I'll show you kind of the watermelon, the cantaloupes, and I did plant. I've got 3 more rows of okra and 2 rows of green beans planted. I planted 1 row of green beans a couple weeks ago. I planted maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I planted a row of squash, but it mostly got washed out. I got three or four plants left of that plant, and I may plant a few more today just to fill in the gaps. And then I've got a raised bed that's got 3 more, or actually gonna have 6 more squash plants in it. And then I planted a row of okra at the beginning of this week, and it's starting to pop up. And then I planted an extra row of green beans and 2 rows of okra today. So that's the 3 rows of okra, 2 rows of green beans, and a row of squash. Not super long, probably like maybe 30 foot to 40 foot at the longest, 20 foot at the shortest, but hopefully enough that one will have some for us to keep back over the winter, and also enough to maybe sell a little bit, you know, this year, but just to get people knowing what I'm growing, so next year when I have it, it's not a shock to people, and they'll know, like, hey, I want okra, hey, I want green beans, I want squash, whatever. So that's kind of my goal there. So when we get home, I'll show that right quick, and then other than that, that's gonna be all for today. But I'll get back up with you in a little bit. What's going on? We're back at the house right now. I was gonna show you the pumpkin patch right quick, and then some of these other things. But here's the pumpkin plants. As you can see, some doing pretty good. I actually see some eggs on this one that I need to probably spray for, get some kind of spray, take care of the pests a little bit. You can kind of see down in there, like right there's a little, about to be a bud bloom out and stuff. So these pumpkin plants are doing pretty good. I had this row did really good, and then the next row nothing came up, which they were old seeds, so I kind of didn't think they would. Then that row and that row did really good. The first 2 rows I had like 1 in this row, and then maybe 2 in that first row. So they didn't do as good as I'd hoped for them to do. Walk down here into this little field and show you some of the watermelons and some of the cantaloupes right quick. Weeds are really bad down here. Grass, whatever, just growing up super bad and hard to handle. But everything's about ready to harvest, or will be in the next month or so. So I'm just not worried about it too bad or too much. So here's a sugar baby watermelon, about the size of a volleyball, I guess. And we're waiting for that, waiting for the tendril, which is this that my finger's on. Once it dries up, we'll know that melon is ready to harvest. So I've already harvested 1 or 2 of those, and just went ahead and ate them. There is some weeds in this field, but this is mainly crimson sweet watermelon, and a lot of that's just vine that you see. There's a lot of melons in here. There's one right here. So yeah, there are a bunch in there. I'll show you some cantaloupe right quick too. Here's one right here that's pretty close. So yeah, that's that. Alright, so what I just showed you was a different variety of cantaloupe. It's heirloom. I can't think of the name of it. But over here in this field, it's on plastic. We've got the edistos, and the weeds are really bad here. But this is a edisto cantaloupe. It's not quite as far along as the other one was, but there are several melons over here. The deer got in right here and ate one of my plants, and actually took out a couple of my melons. So a little aggravating, but there's probably a dozen or so that are, you know, good size, and there's a bunch of little ones and some that are still flowering and putting on. So I'm just kind of hoping to have at least 1 per plant. As you see, that one down there has about 4 on it, but if I can average 1 per plant this year, or 2 per plant, I'll be happy. I just stopped by Tractor Supply on the way home and bought 3 sweet pepper plants. They were like $4.98 a piece, but I had a $10 gift card, so I ended up paying like $2 or $3 for about $1 a plant. So I'm just gonna plant them for us. Yeah, I got my okra plants. I only have 4 that came up in my raised bed here, and they're doing good though. I've been harvesting. You can see each one of these is where okra was. That's a bloom, that's a bloom. This is actually going to be okra, which all the blooms will, but that's already bloomed, and that's going to be an okra, and that is an okra. I've got some with a little bit more size to them on there. I harvested already today, so I'll probably harvest that one tomorrow or the next day, get it a little bit bigger. And then I actually have one that has bloomed, and I think it's already been pollinated, just closing up. So what it does is it goes from these, which are the, you know, it's about to bud, and it'll turn into the flower, and it'll be open, and then you get pollinated, and it'll close up, and the flower fall off, and then you'll get this little nub, and then that turns into your longer okra, which I could say that those aren't quite long enough. They're getting there, but they're not quite there. This was my squash bed. The squash borers got into it bad, but I have replanted it with some more seed, which they'll be kind of later. But you can see there, some of them I planted earlier this week are coming up. There's about 4, I think, of these, and then I have 2 more I put in this morning or last night, I think. So yeah, as you can see, they're coming along pretty good. For being in the ground about a week, they're just seeding. So I'm gonna put these little pepper plants in the ground and probably call it a day. I'll show you these tomatoes. They've kind of been knocked over and knocked around with some of the wind and storms we've had, but this one here, this is a huge Cherokee purple tomato, and I can't wait for it to ripen up. And some of these, like this one here, I'll probably pick it tomorrow. It's not by any means close to, well, it's not ripe, but I don't really let my tomatoes vine ripen. I've always had trouble with end rot or splitting or something if I let them stay on too long. So once I really start seeing that red on the bottom, I'll just go ahead and take them off and let them ripen in the house, and they're just as good. So Anyway, I'm gonna plant these plants and eat me a tomato sandwich, and that's all I'm gonna do for the day, I think. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned, because I think we're gonna have that little baby here any day now. So we'll see you in the next one.